How's everybody doing? My name is Kurt Friedrich, and welcome to episode 45 of TNT Stocks. Today's actual date is March 8th of 2026, and the simulated date is September 1st of 2028. And if you've been following the news and following the market, you know that there's been some big moves in the market with the war going on in Iran that has really influenced how the market is being driven. In a lot of cases, it's driving the market down. I'm taking that as a sell-off. So a lot to talk about. So before getting too far ahead of ourselves, let's go ahead and get into the criteria and disclaimer, and then we'll start unpacking the slides and all the stuff that we've had moving in our portfolio since the last episode. All right, criteria. We do one video per week. We'll simulate 1 month. I'll create videos when available at home, not while traveling on Army Reserve duty or vacations. Any week with a missed video will not be considered a simulated month. Each video will simulate loading $100 per month to the TNT Stocks account. All stocks bought in the simulation are actual companies with their actual end-of-week closing stock prices. Stocks can be sold between episodes at certain prices per personal strategies. This month we bought 3 stocks at the price range of $5 to $100, spending capped at $400, which is now the highest capped mark that we've had thus far. So let's see what $100 per month will look like over time. Disclaimer, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. I'm not qualified or certified to give professional investment advice. Day trading has high risks involved. Any gain or loss is at a personal risk. Past performances do not guarantee success in future stock purchases. It is highly recommended that you do your own due diligence when it comes to deciding which stock you will purchase. All right, so as always, as I mentioned, when it comes to our portfolio, we split everything up into 2 different slides because we have so much in our portfolio that I feel like it will, depending on what type of monitor you're using, it may be blurry and hard to see, whether you're using a large monitor, a laptop, tablet, or cell phone. So I try to split it up to make it easier for you to see different individual line items that you want to see regarding each company. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start just working our way from the top down. As you can see, there's a lot of color variations. AGL continues to be our top money loser per an old strategy that I've used, and as I've been saying in many videos, many episodes, it's going to continue to be our top money loser, basically because the company or the platform I use charges the 10% fee for anything purchased under $2. You see here we've purchased these over $2. When I learned that had that experience, that company actually rose above $2 and actually did pretty well. So I didn't have to see if it charges 10% at selling under it. But I'm living off of that, and I want to recoup some of the losses here. So we're going to hold on to it until 1, it either rises back above $2 and we sell it, or 2, something else happens with the company. Maybe it just goes under and just liquidates everything, and then we just take what losses there are. I will say that with everything selling off, the market going down, last episode, this was at 59 cents per share, and it rose up 1 cent. But while everything is taking a dive, this one did come up since the last episode, so that's encouraging to see. Maybe when the market does recover and correct itself in the upward direction, maybe we'll see it rise above that $2 mark. But until then, continues to be an eyesore, and I don't expect that changing anytime soon. All right, moving down, you see BTSG is now taking the top spot as our highest money maker, or top money maker. It's taken over actually for SHIP, which is $89 versus $86. But we sold SHIP. So right now, BTSG is our top money maker. And if you haven't seen some of the other episodes when this was a top money maker, I always like to make a note that this July timeframe, that's when I started my new strategy, which you see how well it's done since then. This AGL, that was an old strategy. This is when I started my new strategy. And all my simulations with it have been doing pretty well. Personal portfolio is doing well with it, and here we've been doing really well. And I think as the market is driven down, it shows. We're showing it now. So hopefully if you invested in BTSG back in July, hopefully you're benefiting from some of this $100, 100% gains in BTSG. So moving on, we did sell SHIP 25 shares at $13. It had a gain of $89. So pretty cool to see. Again, same with SHIP. This was one of our top money makers at some points in some episodes. If you purchased some of it back in December, hopefully you benefited from that. December, January, February, March, 3 months. That's basically $30 a month that you would have earned if you were using this method here that I'm illustrating. So not bad, not complaining. Then we also sold NC, NACO Industries, 1 share at $53 with an income about $5, $4. SPLK, 17 shares at $24, an income of $25. Okeanis Eco Tankers Corporation, 4 shares at $50, income about $25. Let's back up. Let's talk about SPLK. So we capped at $400. Our previous high, I believe it was $360, which was back this February when I came back from some annual training and some vacations and stuff like that. Or not vacation, but time off. We went on vacation Christmas time. But anyhow, we purchased then, and that was the highest cap amount. I was pretty nervous about it then. I'll be honest with you. I think the first line item we sold from that had a negative $34. The last line item we sold in the last episode had a negative $10, I think. So $25 overall loss on that, about $20. But I mean, we had a downturn in the market, so we're playing the risk. But we did reduce our losses, and at least on this one, we did have a decent chunk of change come from that time. But at that time, I was nervous, and I think it shows why I was nervous at the time. But hey, when you increase the dollar amounts you're spending, for me, it's going to increase that anxiety level. But you got to play the game. If you're going to play the game, you got to play the game, and you got to take the risks. Talk about it a little bit more on this slide. But before we get into that, we'll talk about selling EDRY, 7 shares at $20 and had a gain of about $15 with this. So with the just sold, you see everything that we had sold had some gains, had some income to it. So really cool to see, and we'll talk about that in the future slide. Until then, or before then, let's talk about what we purchased for this week. So Power Pacific Holdings Incorporated common stock, 8 shares at about $48.87. GSAT Global Star Incorporated, 7 shares at $56.44. Tigo Millicom International Cellular SA, 5 shares at $69.28. So all these had to be within $400. So now again, we're like I was just saying about on the previous slide, I'm nervous. Actually more nervous about it than I was on the last time we were capped, because right now we are in a downturn, we are in a sell-off. So these can move in the wrong direction. I'm just gonna be honest with you. These can definitely move in the wrong direction, and we could definitely take some big hits on these line items. But we're playing the game. So when you play the game, you accept some risks. We are accepting those risks, and we are going to move forward. Because we never know. Maybe this week, before now, in the next episode, the market starts recovering and corrects itself. Maybe things improve, and if they do, then these line items should look really well. If we sold everything on Friday at closing, we would have an overall sale of about 197 shares, and have an overall gain of $532, which we'll illustrate on the next slide. So this one is basically showing how the market has, or how our portfolio has taken a downturn. We expect this, but again, it shows the strength of our portfolio, that even while the market is going in the wrong direction, This did not take a big move in the wrong direction. It still held on pretty strong. However, though, I will say in the next episode, if things don't improve, this one will take a big dive in the wrong direction after we remove those line items that we sold, which we'll illustrate on the very last slide. So getting a little ahead of myself. But basically, we went from about $650 all the way down to $530. But again, the purpose of this slide is to illustrate the strength of our portfolio, and you can see over the last several episodes, I mean, the strength has just grown tremendously. So nothing really to complain about there. Coming here to our income, actually, you know what? I'll talk about it on this slide. So over under is basically our gain losses, current gain losses. Previously, when it comes to big sell-offs like what we're dealing with here with the war in Iran, this is my first time dealing with this type of market downturn personally, like this. And I always looked at it as investors selling out of fear of what the market is going to do. Now I'm looking at it as we know the market is going to take a dive. We're watching it happen. So what we got to do is we got to secure some of the gains that we have made. So that's why we are selling items. It's not that we are in a fear of what the market is doing. You're going to ride the wave. Some of those companies will ride in the wave as they go down. We're going to take some losses. The slide is going to move in the downward direction. We're accepting that as part of how the game is played. But when we are selling off, we are protecting some of those gains, and we are going to cash in on some of those gains, which is the whole purpose of investing in the first place, is to cash in on gains from our portfolio. All right, so that's what this illustrates, is how with this sell-off, we made it, we have the highest jump we've had previously. Actually, I didn't look at the notes to see what the difference was, but back in this September time frame, some point in time, I need to put years in here. We went from a negative $20 to $100, so $120 jump. This one was $90 to $250. So this is a $160 jump. So I wouldn't say it shattered it. Did definitely break it by a decent amount. But biggest jump we've had so far, and also breaks a new milestone of trying to get above the $250 mark with our income slide. So really cool to see both those big moments. And hey, we've earned it. We've earned to have by smart investing, in a good strategy, we earned to have this type of income. And I've been saying it for many episodes that it's just a matter of time before we see this slide really take off. And really cool to finally see a big move like this and see how much it's moved up in that direction. Next episode it could come down, but in the meantime we're going to enjoy what we have while we have it, and just keep playing the game and keep this, as you see over the last several episodes, we're moving in the right direction. Overall, if we had a line projecting how we're moving, it would be moving well in the upward direction. So really cool to see. Next slide is a take home. This one's always going to move in the upward direction. Basically, anything that we sell, we take home half of it and then reinvest the other half of it. This also had its excuse me. This also had its other largest amount, which was at one time jumping from $55 to $125. So public math, 45, 25, 50, 70. That was about a $70 jump. This one is about an $80 jump. So not, again, breaking the record, not the biggest, didn't destroy the previous record, but still pretty cool to see having that big of a jump with the take home. And I can tell you during these episodes, I kept saying, man, when are we gonna, we would close out a year here, probably even here, talk about how finally we're starting to see some money coming our way, some money coming into our pocket. So this slide finally is starting to show, is starting to illustrate how even that line is starting to move in the upward direction more and more, angling up. So really cool to see here, and cool to have some take home with it, a decent amount. So close to the $400 amount, we're at $390. Invested, basically what this is if you took all the line items we have, after we removed the line items that we sold, and and multiplied it. So the line items, the shares in each line item times the purchasing price. That's what this illustrates and what we have invested. So right now we jumped from about $3,600, close to a little over $3,600, close to $3,800 on this slide. So jumped here on this one with what we've invested, because it's also because we're reinvesting some of what we what we earned in the with the sell-off. Here's our total. This one I'm actually kind of overhauling. It's going to be a while before we see how it's illustrated, but I realize that I've had a little bit of errors in the math. But right now, basically, what this one is supposed to illustrate is what we have in our portfolio overall. Should always be moving in the upward direction. There's going to be some times when it's moving in the downward direction as I update it. It's going to take me a little time to get it updated and corrected. But what I'm going to be trying to illustrate here is what we have in our portfolio. So kind of the opposite from the previous slide. What we have, each line item's shares multiplied by what they are currently, what the current closing on the Friday is. So what we have overall, if we sold everything, the amount that we would be taking home. But right now, how I have this illustrated, we jumped from about $4,200 to about $4,400. So a little bit of a tick in the upward direction, which we want to see. We want to kind of see this start curving up as well. And that just illustrates that we are having some gains in our income as our portfolio is growing. In the next slide, this is our first combined slide showing our over-under income and take-home. And this one just really illustrates how we are overall trending in an upward direction. You can see the first half of this slide, everything's really kind of staying flat. And the second half of this slide, especially the last quarter, everything's moving in the upward direction. It's pretty cool to see. I expect over-under to drop down again more in the next episode after we remove line items that we sell, and they'll illustrate again on the last slide of this video. The second combined slide, these two are always going to kind of stay pretty close to parallel to each other. They should be separating as our over-under increases and as our gains increase. As you can see here, as we began, pretty much stayed parallel, some crossing, but starting to see that separation. And with that separation, again, shows kind of the strength of our portfolio. So that's what I got for the graphs. Lastly, now I have our whole portfolio after removing the line items that we sold all on one slide and removed the legend. So hopefully you're able to see this on yours, but basically this is showing what we have in our portfolio overall. If we sold on Monday, we would have an Monday at opening, we would sell 143 shares and have an overall gain of $370, $375. But I want to illustrate again the strength. We have Tigo over 50% at 84%, BTSG, which apologize for that. I highlighted green the wrong BTSG on here. It should be this one here. Over 110% increase. BKD 70, almost 80% increase. FRO about 60% increase. So even with the downturn and the sell-off, our portfolio is still holding strong. If we have another downturn this week, yes, we'll be selling off more stuff. But most everything that we have here that we sell off will have gains. Some of it you see here is in negatives. Those will have some losses. We're nervous about what's going to happen with these purchases we have this episode. But again, we got to play the game. we are accepting the risks, and we'll see how things all turn out as the future unfolds. So with that being said, good stock hunting. I hope you guys got something useful out of these videos. I hope you guys are able to benefit from some of these companies in these videos if you do choose to purchase and invest in some of these companies. Um, so with that being said, good stock hunting. Don't forget to comment, rate, share, and subscribe. All of the above. And until the next episode, take it easy.